Baba Biafra is with us. Michael the Great Wanta is with us. Aguyi Biafra is with us. Ernest Orakwe is with us. The whole of the world is listening, I assure you. That the truth may prevail. That the liars of iniquity, the workers of darkness may be put to shame. They said Jubril did a broadcast. It was touted as a live broadcast. But due to our perseverance, due to our persistence, it is now very clear to the whole world that they were lying. Now it is clear to the whole world that the zoo is lying. They have always been lying to you. They have been deceiving you. But because of our tenacity, because of our never say die attitude, because of our dedication, because of our resoluteness, ordinary people are now beginning to ask questions. How come we cannot see him? You claim you are the president, but we cannot see you. What type of president are you? I serve the wonderful people of Biafra. I am live and direct. I need no introduction. And Biafrans can watch me live and direct all over the world. But the man you claim is an Asorok that most people foolishly call Buhari, that very man cannot speak to you, cannot talk to you, cannot conduct a simple press conference as all other heads of states are doing all over the world, cannot take questions from the journalists. Instead of the journalists to be asking those in Asorok, who is that thing there? They are busy phoning my house in the village and asking my younger brother if I am alive or not. BBC Igbo. BBC Igbo. BBC Igbo. The same BBC cannot ask Garba Shehu if that man with a hole in the neck is Buhari or not. They cannot ask Asorok if that thing there on a bleaching cream, and I am sure the reason why he accepted this very commission to come to the zoo, maybe he must have seen Chris Oyekilome of Christ Embassy, the way he's very light, or now shiny, Nebuke. He said, let me go there. And I'm sure maybe he said, get me the cream that Chris is using. I want to use it. All of a sudden, Jubril is light and yellow. Overnight. He wants to look like Chris Oyekilome. He wants to look like the pastor of Christ Embassy. All of a sudden, he's light. BBC Igbo cannot ask Asorok, why is this man all of a sudden very light? Nobody's asking questions. But they had the gut and the temerity to call Isiama Faruku, the land that derived its name from Biafra itself, to ask very foolish questions. I am live and I'm direct. And I'm telling you that anybody who has any brain in their skull will see that the last recording of Jubril al-Sudani was not done live. He has not entered the zoo yet, I can assure you. I know the Air Force base that they took them to where they were quarantined. They are still in South Africa. If South Africa will let them come through, I do not know. But I can assure you that he is not in the zoo. He is not in Asorok, that very crumbling edifice, diseased and hopeless habitation of very wicked and evil men and women, I hasten to add. That very recording was not done live. Nobody in their right senses can tell you that it was live. You can see the useless picture they used, a Photoshop picture as background. Look between the flags, you will see a very dark shadow. Does it mean there is no light where they are? Does it mean they could have turned on the light? Can you see the flag, immobile, stood in one very place, never moving? What does that tell you? They are still forging. They are still deceiving you. They are still hoping against hope that perhaps some of you will be so stupid and so gullible as to believe them. This very laughable display of mediocrity. You cannot say that you come from a country where there are 200 million people and that is the best you can do. That is an insult. People still say, oh, Buhari, I'm writing to the president. We Buhari are you writing to? The one in Cuba doing recorded messages? Or the one in the grave in Saudi Arabia? Which one are you writing to, I ask you? Why do you always believe, or should I say, why do you always participate in an act of deception? I'm asking Zoo people, why do you always deceive yourselves? Why do you do that? You know that Buhari doesn't exist, don't you? You know he doesn't exist. You know that very well. But out of fear and cowardice, the only people sustaining this charade and this fraud is Yoruba media. It is them sustaining this very fraud. They are the ones sustaining it. Because I tell you the truth. Always, morning, noon, and night, I speak the truth. They are the ones who are allowing this evil to continue. Even today, before we came on air, Guardian newspaper published a picture of Jubril wearing a Buhari mask with a hole in the neck, saying that Trump called Buhari. Do you see how deceptive they are? All of them. Nobody is asking, why does this man have a hole in his neck? Nobody's asking that question. It is to be asking my younger brother where I am if he's heard from me. Very laughable. The handlers of Jubril should give every right-thinking person a cause for concern. If you have conscience, you must be worried. What is happening in the zoo? I told you it is empty. I told you there is no president, no vice president. They hastily photoshopped a picture of Osibanjo. Let me have some water. For those who cannot see me, if you wish to see me, you have to go to my page, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I believe it is the one with over 250,000 followers. That is where you will see me. As I'm sipping water. Something that Jubril cannot do. Because if he tries to sip water to come out of the hole in his neck, he cannot. He's wearing a mask. People wearing masks do not drink water, no liquid. Because their lips, upper lip 2, lower lip is always 2. Everything is double. Everything is double. They cannot sip water. As I'm sipping water now, Jubril cannot do it. Instead of the Zoo media, those of them who are writing foolishly and speculating hopelessly to go and demand of their own president to do the same thing that the leader of Biafra is doing, they cannot do it. They can't. When we say something to people, they must understand us and know that we do not lie. We do not lie. You have to pardon me. I have to remove this talit. It's a bit warm in here. It's understandable. This is a bit warm. That we may preach the gospel of heaven without the added inconvenience of a very high temperature, I should say, in terms of the heat emanating. Nigeria is a den of liars and deceivers. Every day they lie, every day they deceive you. The most distressing thing about it is that some people swallow it. They accept this very fraud. Here we can't accept it. Here on this very platform, we preach the gospel of truth, the gospel of restoration, this very gospel of decency that will lead us into light and into darkness. The zoo is in darkness. That's why they are failing. And that is why they will continue to fail. Please publish that very picture that the world may be able to see it. The picture they claimed is live from NTA. They claim it is live, going out to the whole world that people should link in. And some of you saw that it was recorded on the 25th. It was there very clear, recorded on the 25th. NTA in their foolishness, because when I pray in the language of heaven. I say, I can see Hagabahonu. That very hand they use to concoct a deadly potion. Unbeknown to them, they will put it in their mouth, and they too will become afflicted. They will become exposed, and they will die from their own pestilence. That is what is happening. You can see it very clearly. How they are deceived. It was showing there on the 25th. Besides OPS Equestrian and a few other people on Twitter, I have not come across anybody from mainstream Nigerian media, not from channels, not from Punch, not from Guardian. None of them have been able to write an editorial to say, why are 200 million people being insulted every day? Why? Watching a recorded clip from Cuba. They claim he's in Aso Rock. You claim Buhari is in Aso Rock. Why are you faking the background? Why are you photoshopping a picture onto the background of a recorded video? He was a newscaster. Reading news. Am I reading news? I am looking at people direct. I look at it and I speak. Even the old Buhari, before he died, did not resort to the reading of scripts. Go and check his videos, and we have it this evening. It will be played. They have been lying to all of you. And the reason why Yoruba media have not picked up on this very critical point, how should I say, of national survival, is that they are lying to themselves. They want to deceive you because of Tinubu in 2023. Yoruba is hoping to produce the presidency, and because of that, mass deception is allowed. Lying is allowed. Deceiving people is allowed. And these are newspapers and publications and TV houses that swore an oath to uphold the integrity of journalism. All that is gone. All of that is gone. Political expediency. They want the presidency. But unfortunately for them, people no longer buy oil. People no longer buy oil, and because of that, they are gone. They are finished. Nobody wants the useless presidency. Is now like a poisoned chalice. And now what is happening? What is happening is that people continue to allow themselves to be deceived. Here, we cannot allow that to happen. They cover up the truth. They cover up the truth. That is why Nigerian media is always at the forefront of alleged killing, alleged police massacre, alleged army massacre. They cover up their own truth. They cannot speak the truth, and they will use their deception to leverage the government to get money. If not for Dave Umahi, would we have known that governors pay Nigerian Union of Journalists? Would we have known that every state government pay the NUJ in that state? Would we have known that the zoo pay NUJ, Nigerian Union of Journalists, the same way they bought over the judges, like I told you? If not for Dave Umahi of Ebonyi, the governor of Ebonyi State, would we have known that they pay money every month to Nigerian Union of Journalists? We wouldn't have known. There is no way we would have known. But now it's very clear. Of course, I do concede that some of them have remained independent. I do concede, of course, that some of them have remained very objective and will report rather objectively. I'm not saying that every journalist is bad, heaven forbid. I'm not saying that every publication house is bad. That's not what I'm saying. There are some people, those of them in channels, television, and a few other places, who have made it a habit to lie and to deceive you. When people are dying in their hundreds in Kanu, instead of them to come out and say that people are dead, they're saying it's not malaria. Yesterday it was meningitis. Before that it was Lassa fever. Because you are living in a society where the culture is to lie and to deceive. That is what is happening to you. That is why you are blind. That is why you cannot see. And that is why we have come, that the truth may prevail. Aso Rock is empty. And anybody who doesn't know that by now is mad. If you don't know that Aso Rock is empty, you are insane. You are insane. In the middle of a pandemic, there is no president-only recorded speech. In the middle of a pandemic, there is no vice president. In the middle of the pandemic, nobody from the government can stand and take questions from journalists apart from an ordinary secretary to a government. And you're telling me that things are normal, you're telling me that things are okay, that is how to run a country. You're telling me that such a society is capable of producing intellectuals. Of course, we know that Aisha Buhari has taken temporary charge of Aso Rock. That was why she sent 18 lorry load of rice to Kanu. She is temporarily in charge. There is still power tussle going on as to who will be the new de facto president of the zoo. These are the things you ought to know. These are the things that we are bringing to your knowledge and to your attention. That there is nobody inside Asorok. I told you that that boy there cannot speak. That was what I told you. He cannot talk. He cannot grant any live interview. He cannot even be recorded speaking. I said that to you. You doubted me. If that boy in Asorok is Jubril, for instance, don't you think they would have done this recording of theirs 2 days ago live inside Asorok? I told you they have no access to the office of the president. I told you that the biometric is that of Abba Kyari, not even of Jubril. I told you that. Some of you are doubting me. Today, why can't they broadcast from inside Asorok? It was because I chastised them. That was why they took a picture of one of the offices and used it as a background to deceive you. I told you that the zoo is gone, that the zoo has crumbled. Some did not believe, but I believe by now your eyes are beginning to open and you are beginning to see what we are seeing. They cover up the truth, and when you speak the truth, they come for you. They try to kill you. They try to suppress the truth. That is what they do. That is why they create all these diversionary tactics with Yoruba media. That's what they do. They create a diversion. People go because people are very hungry in spirit. Hungry people even in spirit. No matter how much they have, they are never satisfied. Very, very avaricious. They are never, ever satisfied. These are the people that will always go to DSS, go to Asorok, write a memo to say, oh, there's a way we can tackle Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB. We found a way. And in concert with their media, they came up with a bundle of lies, which we are ripping apart this very evening. We are ripping it apart. Aisha Buhari is now in charge of Asorok, and in charge of the affairs of 200 million people. Before your eyes, they lied and said, we buried her backyard in Abuja. Of course, I know the daughter is begging. We have to respect her wishes. She said her father is dead, but your father was a very evil man. Your father was a very wicked man. Abba Kyari was the one who ordered Python dance. It was Abba Kyari that ordered all the massacre of the Shia. It was the same Abba Kyari that is in charge of a government of mass murderers, a government of Janjaweedism, a government of Mietiala, a government of bandits, a government of terrorists. He was the one in charge. We cannot leave your father alone until he is held responsible, albeit posthumously, for all the slaughter and the massacre that happened under his watch. It wasn't him that was buried in Abuja. It wasn't Abba Kyari, and we all know that. You saw the blood-stained casket, or the coffin. You saw it in broad daylight. Nobody, no journalist from the zoo is asking questions. Have you seen them write about it? Don't they have investigative journalists in Nigeria anymore? People to go out and investigate what is going on? You see all these things. These are pointers to the fact that the zoo is gone. But some of you, sadly, cannot and will not be able to see it. They are covering up the truth. If not for Dave Umahi, how are we going to know that NUJ receive monthly payments? We don't know. But now we know. That young boy with a Buhari look-alike mask. I told you he loved football. I told you he likes Champions League. Some of you are doubting me. Until today, please, Amaka, put up that very picture, please. And post it on this very thread if you can, if it's going to allow you. I told you that he loves Champions League. Some people did not believe me. There is a picture you're going to see to be posted, and I want that picture everywhere. You will see. You know where he was using toothpick after watching Eating Nkwobi? He was using toothpick. Well, now, which says toothpick. Where he was hanging his danchiki on the stand, on the coat stand inside the room. Have you seen that very picture before? Some of us, we have eyes, but we do not see. Have you seen that very picture before? Have you seen it? Go back to that picture and have a look. Go back to the picture and have a look. You will see football. You will see football inside the shelf. You will see football. Are you telling me Buhari loves football and that Buhari plays football? The answer is no. This young boy plays football in the garden of Asorok with Yusuf, Buhari's son. Go to that very picture. You will see it. Sometimes we look, we cannot see. You will see football inside the cabinet. When I tell you he loves Champions League, we are laughing and saying, oh, how did you know? It's propaganda. Can you see football in that very picture? That was a picture official released by Asorok. There is football inside it. Who plays that football? Is it Buhari that was so rickety before he died? That couldn't walk. Is it Buhari that is playing football in Asorok? Who owns the ball inside the shelf? We know that Zai is no longer in Asorok. We know he's the fourth richest man in Africa. His father is the head of state and is the fourth richest person in Africa, yet his father is not corrupt. That's how foolish some people are. But the wife is corrupt. The son is corrupt, but not the father. You see how people reason. Go and check that very picture. You will see football inside the see it with your naked and you will see it. What is football doing inside the shelf? If that man is Buhari in his office, what is Buhari doing with football? That is to tell you that is a very young boy that loves Champions League, that loves to play, kick around once in a while. You will see his ball. It's so precious to him, it's even inside the glass shelf. You will see a picture from there. You see it in the picture by Femi Adesina, released by Asorok. Boy playing with people, yet nobody is speaking. When you talk, they go and they fabricate, they concoct, they start to fool themselves and not us. There is nothing anybody can do. We are decimating the zoo. Facebook, panic, all the like, that is their business. Our work continues unabated. Destroy the zoo. Publish the picture of the last broadcast by Jubril, that the world may know that it was a Photoshop picture. Look at the dark shades between the flags. Look at everything you need to know. Of course, they are panicking. They are switching us off everywhere, but it cannot work for them. Is it going to work for them? Of course not. The answer is no. We are relentless. We are resolute. We are pursuing this thing to its logical conclusion. The worst mistake, the worst mistake they ever made is to say that Buhari is alive. I've told you that before. The very worst mistake they ever made. And this evening, I want to ask BBC Igbo, why did you not ask Asorok about Jubril? Why is it that nobody asks any questions in the zoo? Why is it that people cannot rise up and demand to hear from the person they claim is their president? What is wrong with that? Why can't you do it? You can't do it because you don't know what you're doing, because you're terrified and you're scared. All of you are cowards, you're scared. You can't speak. But I've told you that Budata is no longer there. All these people, they're on the run. They're infected with COVID-19. They are on the run. The Asorok is empty. Absolutely empty. Go there, you will see it is empty. And you're still frightened. You're still terrified. After Jubril must have finished watching Champions League, of course, he will eat his own kobe and wash it down with a cold good. I don't know. Yes, I was told he likes good. And after that, he'll go and shower and put on the same cream that Chris or Yakilomi of Christ Embassy put on. The next day on our fried plantain. I think maybe that I believe very strongly that Pastor Chris's complexion was one of the incentives that made Jubril to take up that very position. I don't know who bewitched Nigerians, the zoo people. I don't know why some of them cannot reason, also including their media. After watching that very travesty of a national broadcast, a travesty, I must tell you, it became compellingly clear, absolutely clear, that even Nigerians don't know who their president is. They don't know where he is. Nobody is running the zoo. Everybody is looting left, right, and center. Come on to ask, where is our president? They cannot ask. They can't ask, can they? They're not going to ask, not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Buhari, and I want it posted, Amaka. I have a clip of the old Buhari and the new Buhari, the claim is. Go and look at those two clips, those two videos of the old and the new. The old Buhari will look at you the way I'm looking at you and talk to the camera. This new one cannot. Look at the way he pronounces certain words. You will know he is forcing himself to sound like the dead Buhari. Go and see it. If you have two eyes and you have ears, it is very clear and very obvious. Please try and publish that as well. Look at the picture background of the old Buhari, the dead one, and look at the picture background of the new Buhari, the Jubril. You will see a very massive difference. This program this evening is a slight departure from the norm. I do not normally broadcast live this way, but this evening we are doing so. That the world may know that we do not lie. That the world may know that we are formidable, we are resolute, we are determined, and that we are unstoppable. No amount of conspiracy, no amount of machinations by the forces of darkness and of evil can stop us on this path that we have chosen to tread. They wanted to block our path to news. They paid news channels not to carry our news. They bribed them not to carry anything coming from IPOB and from Radio Biafra, but they are mistaken. The whole world is listening to us. And they understand that very, very clearly. We are on FM, so it doesn't matter what Facebook does. We are on Twitter. We are on Radio Biafra app. We are on TuneIn. We are on Simple Radio. We are on YouTube. You name it and we are there. How do you think it can stop us? You are wasting your time. They are wasting their time. Whenever presidents are addressing the media, whenever a president is holding a very important meeting, you will see them. And I also want that picture published. You will see them, be it Netanyahu, any president, you will see the press asking questions. Why can't the press ask questions in the zoo? Why can't they ask questions in the zoo called Nigeria? Why can't they do that? Why not? Why can't they do that? Whoever is wearing that mask, whoever is wearing the Buhari mask, whoever it is that they brought to wear that very mask, is doing a very horrible job. He is doing a very horrible job. And I ask the Yoruba media who are covering up for all these demons, is this how you're going to run a country? So when Tinubu goes in, you will continue lying, you will continue to deceive, you will continue to lead people astray. This is how you're going to run a country? Is that how you're going to run a country? I'm asking you. Is that how you're going to run a country? By living on lies and deception? Trying to fool people, trying to make them believe something that should not be believed in the first place. All these lies, all these lies, all these lies. Yoruba, why are you supporting evil? Yoruba media, why are you supporting evil? Why? Yoruba in Facebook, why are you supporting evil? Why? Has it paid you before? I found I did the same thing in Ilorin and it cost you that very place. From an Oba stool to that of an emirate. You tried this same nonsense when Awo was there. Where did it get you? Absolutely nowhere. You're doing the same nonsense again. Where do you think it is going to take you to? What do you hope to gain? We are not in a war with anybody. We are not fighting anybody. What we are doing is right. The more they try to... I said to people say to me all the time, why don't you abandon this Jubril saga? Why don't you... I said, no. The more we pursue them, the more mistakes they make. They will continue to make me... Every time they claim they are coming live, they are going to make a very serious mistake. And once they do, we pounce on them and they're finished. Has it not happened? Can't you see where we're going to? Anything we ask you to do, please try and do it. Try and do it. When I say keep on this Jubril issue, we must continue to hammer it. Please remain with me. Because the zoo is crumbling. All the money they borrow, they spend it bribing people, cajoling people to frustrate the efforts of IPOB. And they are failing. The more they try to frustrate us, the more they fail. The more they will continue to fail. Until the end of time. When Biafra shall emerge. Their media, they know this very well. The people setting the agenda for them, they also understand this. In 2015, I told all of you, most of you who are listening tonight, morning, afternoon, depending on where you are. I told you in 2015 not to panic, that Buhari is the one that is going to give us Biafra. That's what I told you. Is it not happening today? Is it not happening today? Because this year, 2020, we are going to establish before the whole world that Aso Rock is empty, that is a fraud. And the zoo must collapse as a result of it. It will. The world, don't think they all know. That was why Trump said he spoke to a Nigerian, not their president. Trump said, I spoke to a Nigerian. I spoke to the Nigerians. He never said I spoke to the president. Never. So they know. And the work we are doing is driving home that very message that Nigeria, the great zoo in Africa, is a fraud. And we must keep on it. We must remain on it until what we are looking for is accomplished. It doesn't matter. People should stop panicking. I can see what Facebook is doing. Stop panicking. There's no need. As we are diminishing here, we are increasing exponentially on all other platforms. That's Yoruba. That's what they do. They try to frustrate. They try to make life difficult and impossible for people who are pursuing the truth. They don't know the truth. And that is why they are the way they are. Their media and some of their leaders as well. The only thing holding Nigeria together today is Yoruba lies, deceit, and deception. That's the only thing holding the zoo together. When I mean Yoruba, I don't mean ordinary people. I mean those who claim that they are their leaders. They are the ones holding the zoo together in the hope of 2023. I hope you're following. That is why they do what they do. The people, if you're dying in the zoo, if you're shot by the police, shot by the army, if you're suffering, if you're hungry, stop blaming the Janjaweed Alamajiri. Blame the Yoruba. Yoruba is the problem. Do you know why they are the problem? Not that they created it, no. They are the ones that have refused to speak and stand on the truth. That is their crime. That is the evil they have done. Can you imagine from 33,000 viewers to what we have done? 19.8 thousand. You see what they're doing? They are panicking. They say, oh, we saw Nnamdi Kanu. We saw Nnamdi Kanu. We saw Nnamdi Kanu. They are no longer sending notifications. They are trying to reduce the numbers. So they will say, oh, not many people listened to him. Not many people listened to him. But when we started, we are at 33,000, and now what we have is 19.2. It's Yoruba for you. That's what they do. So I know what I am talking about. It's the Yoruba working inside Facebook. That's what they're doing. They'll keep pushing it down to maybe around 9.5 to 10,000. 10K. They will stop there. That's who they are. Because they know, Aso Rock called them now and said, oh, how come you are allowing Nnamdi Kanu to trend with over 33,000 people logged onto his Facebook page at the same time? And they said, oh, Okoresa. They wanted to remove people, as they normally do. People are writing here and saying, we are not getting any notification. We don't even know you're live on air. That's the zoo for you. That's what they do. And that's what they will continue to do. Very, very sad indeed. As I told you in 2015, that Buhari is taking us into Biafra with his wickedness and his evil. The only thing holding the zoo together today is Yoruba presidential aspiration come 2023, and it will never happen. I'm telling Tinubu and those supporting him, you can never succeed. You can never. Before that time, anyway, the zoo will crumble. That I can assure you. This year, we are mounting relentless pressure. The world must know that thing wearing a mask inside Aso Rock is not Buhari. This year they will know. They know now in the secret, they are going to know in the open that nobody can hide it anymore. There is no Buhari in Aso Rock, and the ringmaster is no longer there back here. Had he been there, all these mistakes, they won't be making it. Admittedly, he was a very formidable adversary, I must say. You know, I didn't actually count him as one of those that had a bit of brain to be able to mount any credible opposition to IPOB onslaught. But he tried to hold out for a couple of years, but eventually he fell, as all of them will fall. Chukwokikabiam will get rid of all of them. You watch and see. As somebody reminded me today, I was the one 2.5 months ago that said that Elohim will strike down Abba Kyari. I said it. When he was on life support machine, I also said it. That he is now on life support machine. If they switch it off, he's brain dead, he will die. And some noisemakers were all over the place, running helter-skelter. But they listen to the radio Biafra, they go back, and they try to make it appear as if it is their own idea, as if it is their own original thinking, when actually it is not. What the Yorubas are doing now was exactly what they did to us during the war, which is to deny media space to the truth. That was what they did during the war. To deny media space for the truth to be told. That was why when children were dying of starvation, the world asked them, they wrote and said it was Ojukwu that didn't want any aid to come into Biafra land. All lies. That is what they do. And I'm telling Yoruba today, that is what, you are good at deception, you are good at lying. You are good at carrying false propaganda. You never confront the truth. You never see the truth eye to eye. Jubril is in Asorok. No, of course, he's not in Cuba. An idiot wearing a mask is in Asorok. You cannot investigate. You can't ask questions. You cannot say to people, who is that man who is there wearing a mask on behalf of the dead Buhari? You can't do that. All you are interested in is how you are going to run down IPOB and run down Biafra, that Biafra will not come. But you see what will happen to you. I call them the Lagos Ibadan Expressway gutter media. They are an accomplice to your pain and your suffering in Nigeria. If COVID-19 hunger is striking you, if this hunger vid, some people dubbed it, is striking you, hold Yoruba media responsible. They are the ones with the issues. They are the ones making your life intolerable. Do you know how? Because they are the ones covering the truth. And they will continue to cover it. It is in their blood, it is in their nature, and I must say it. Common to demand for the impostor to do a common live broadcast is beyond them. They cannot do it. Ordinary live broadcast they cannot do. Question and answer, the way you ask questions. This evening I will look here and I'll take some questions this evening. I will read what you're writing and I'll take your questions and I'll answer them this evening. They can't do it. And I keep asking them, Yoruba, why are you always on the side of evil? Why must you always side evil all the time? Why? Why must you side evil? What stops the pressmen and the women in Nigeria going on strike? Saying until we have a live interview with the president, until we speak to whoever is there live and ask him or her questions. Buhari is a Fulani man. He speaks Fulfude very well. That's local Fulani language they speak in the northern part of the zoo. And I ask all of you, I ask you this very evening, I prayed in Igbo language. Why can't whoever is there just to tell us something in Fulfude? That tells you he is not Buhari. And the reason why we keep going on this all the time is to remind you that such deception is not good for you. That is why you are suffering. That is why any money that comes in, they embezzle it, they squander it. Because they think you are all foolish. You do not know what you want. You do not know what you need. What they are doing now is what they call accelerated approval for they call it Buhari, to request 850 billion naira loan from the capital market, being reported by Zoo newspapers, to go and borrow more money. They have been running the government for almost 40-something years out of the 60-year life span of the Zoo so far. They are going to borrow more money. Do you know why it is very, very sad? Borrow money from who? Who are the people going to be responsible for this very money they are going to borrow? There is no one. There is no president. There is no vice. Who is going to be responsible? I ask. Buhari seeks confirmation. They've given it to him. Who is Buhari? Is it the one, this little boy, wearing a face mask? And I have shown you the face mask that he was wearing when he did this very broadcast on on the 25th, 4 days ago, or thereabout. A program they played for you on the 27th. Yet you're not asking questions. You don't think there's anything wrong. But then there's something wrong. Let me have some water. That's my water. That's something that Jubilee can never do. They are borrowing money. They convened the Senate. They saw that they may borrow even more money. Money to do what? They will eat the money, they will loot it, and they will burn the place down. When they had money, 13.9 billion was given to Aso Rock, the seat of power itself. Today they're asking, oh, where's Jonathan's account? And I'm asking them, how many times have you had to look for Aisha Buhari's account? How about Yusuf Buhari? Have you looked for his account? But they're chasing Jonathan. The same thing that Zeke did is what Jonathan did. They say they are so weak. That's why they're insulting them. That is why they are being insulted. Asking and looking for the account. Because people are very, very useless. Because we have lost every sense, every common sense, to try and question and demand for the truth to be told at all times. At least Wike is the only one who is doing something. His ability is correct. The people you claim are your army and your police, as I told you before, they are the armed robbers. It's only Wike who's talking. They are the armed robbers in the zoo. And Wike is only saying this because he knows there's nobody in Aso Rock. There is nobody there. He can say whatever he likes. He knows there is no one there. He's the only one who is bold enough to actually come out, knowing fully well that there is no Buhari in Aso Rock, and in fact, no even Jubilee, for that matter. And what did Wike say? That the army are the ones doing bunkering. They are the ones doing the stealing. They are the ones into banditry. The Nigerian army themselves are the ones stealing. Let me play for you what Wike told them, a very brave man, so you can listen and understand what we are saying. Listen.
Wike has berated the general officer commanding GOC of
the GOC
division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Jami Sahim, for running an illegal. River State Governor Wike has berated the general officer commanding GOC of the 6th Division of the Nigerian
6th Division,
Major General Jami Sahim, for running an illegal oil bunkering.
Army General running an illegal oil bunkering business.
Army staff.
Let's hear Wike.
Declared that any attempt to appoint GOC of the 6th Division of the Nigerian
he wants to be the chief of staff, chief of army staff,
for the nation's famous,
and he is stealing money in Biafra land, doing illegal business.
During a courtesy visit by the commander of Joint Task Force Operations.
Now listen, let's hear what Wike has to say. Let's hear Wike.
At the government house, Port Harcourt.
The GOC has his own team now doing oil bunkering.
Are you hearing? GOC. Oil bunkering.
Because he wants to be chief of army staff?
Not Nnamdi Kanu saying.
You give that kind of authority chief of army staff, what kind of security would we have in this country?
Criminals will be everywhere.
Security are also part of the oil bunkering.
Are you listening?
Nobody can hide it.
He accused the GOC of the 6th Division of...
GOC is stealing. GOC Wonyoshi in Biafra land. They are stealing. I'll imagine Janjaweed.
He cannot move here because they know the role he's playing for them.
He's playing for the army. Stealing.
Sabotaging our security architecture.
The army is sabotaging security.
He has a security meeting. He will release it to criminals.
Unbelievable.
And chief of army staff will leave the man here because he's playing their role.
Playing their role.
The security of this state be with such a man there as GOC. He will compromise our security architecture.
Are you listening?
And we are fighting every day, making sure that we reduce crime to the barest minimum. But you send us somebody who will going to sabotage the whole security architecture of the state.
That's what they're doing.
But Wike wondered what the joint...
Can you believe that? The army they are bringing are the ones doing the criminality. They are the ones kidnapping. They are the ones doing oil bunkering. Only Wike had the presence of mind, the bravery, and the temerity to say it out loud. But Yoruba people will not carry it. Yoruba people will not carry it. Never, ever, ever. Because they hate the truth. They think they're doing a deal with Fulani. Hey, it's your turn. It's our turn. Let's exclude the Biafra. Let's exclude the Igbo. It's your turn now. Let's share that money. That's what they're doing. The same politics of deception they played for many years that gave them nothing. That enabled the Fulanis to flood their land, to flood their bushes and their forests. That necessitated Amotekun. They have not learned anything. Nothing whatsoever. They are still covering up evil till tomorrow morning. They are the people who are in the same one Nigeria with you. That is how horrible some of them are. I don't hate any Yoruba person. I only hate your corrupt leaders. Only your corrupt leaders who are deceiving you. The same goes for Hanez and Gatron and Yoshi. They have now repented overnight. They are now talking like human beings. All of a sudden, it has dawned on them. What IPOB, what those miscreants saw from inside the valley, them that claim they are on top of the mountain couldn't see it. But only now they are now beginning to concede that things have gone absolutely south for them. Now they are speaking. Look at Pandef, nothing. Absolutely, they have been. It is the same trick that the Fulanis play. Let us give them who is going to rule over them. That is some nonsense we are witnessing today in our land, that they cannot speak. Only Wike is talking. The only person in a position of authority that's actually speaking out. Are they coming to his rescue? No. Everybody wants to be vice president to Tambuwal. They want to be vice president to Atiku in 2023. That's all they're doing. That's what they're positioning for. Very, very sad indeed. If you stand on the path of truth, if you remain on the path of truth, Yoruba media will never like you. And I'm saying to IPOB, to Biafrans all over the world, we are not going to deviate from this path. We can never ever deviate. We remain on the path of truth until Biafra is accomplished and beyond. That is who we are. Any day we stop our agitation for Biafra in truth and in every honesty. Any day that our total dedication to God Almighty in heaven wavers. Any day we spare anyone for telling lies within IPOB, that day the hands of Elohim will depart from us. And I will not allow that to happen. I will never ever allow that to happen. Never ever ever. We are in a zoo where there is no competition, where we have been stifled, where there is no opportunity, no avenue for creativity to thrive, where people go to bed hungry every blessed day with no hope of what to eat the next day. There you have a media, you have a press that is covering evil. There you have a press that is covering evil, and we are saying no to that. We are saying no to that. We cannot accept that. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We welcome I think this is the very first time nearly 3.7k people are watching us on Radio Biafra itself. These were those that Yoruba operatives in Facebook kicked out from my page. They have now gone to Radio Biafra. Now that I've said it, maybe they may now switch their attention over to that very platform as well. We are a hardworking people, and it shall remain so. It shall remain so. The essence of this broadcast this evening is to demonstrate very clearly and unequivocally that we are who we say we are. But you cannot say something for the animal in the cage inside us rock. The actor that is there. You can't say that for Jubril, who is stranded somewhere in South Africa. You cannot say that for all those that live their lives lying and deceiving all of you. You cannot say that for them. But we are here, and we are alive, and we are direct. And their lies did not stop there. I don't know if you have noticed what they're doing in Kanu. People are dying. There's coronavirus all over the world, and people are falling. People are dying everywhere. You know what they're saying? That they're going to test 2 million people. Is it every month or is it every 2 weeks? Nigeria to test 2 million people in 3 months. Test 2 million people in 3 months. Whereas in Canada, that is the epicenter of the outbreak, where people are falling like flies and dying, they don't have one test center, not one. All the money they are borrowing, all the grants they are getting from world bodies, they are frittering them away. Just like Boko Haram, the fight against Boko Haram. Generals are being arrested inside the airport with cartons of raw cash in foreign currency. Boko Haram is a very big business. Now, coronavirus is one other lucrative business for them. Now they're making an announcement. We are going to test 2 million people in 3 months. Oh dear. But inside Kanu, there is not one single test center. Not one single test center inside Kanu. That is how horrible they are. Now listen to what they have to say. That we have set a target of testing 2 million people in the next 3 months. The Director General of NCDC, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, as somebody quite, Riley reminded us, sounds like a political party. Chikwe Ihekwazu spoke as part of the daily presidential task force briefing on Tuesday that the move became necessary as the country is lagging behind in terms of testing. But inside Kano State, that people are dying on a daily basis. Nothing is happening. Not one single test center. That's why people die and they claim they performed what is called, is it called again? Is it audio autopsy. They speculate, essentially. And people are dying. This very contagion is everywhere, infecting people. People are dying. They don't know why they are dying. And in complete disregard for World Health Organization guideline as to how to handle a corpse of somebody who is infected with COVID-19, they go to burial ground and just bury them. Just like that. In Canada, that's what is happening. And they claim that they are civilized. They claim they are truthful people. In Kanu, there is not one single test center. Not one. That was what Ganduje said. Not one single one. And whilst they are expressing concern for the continued transmission of the disease inside Kanu, somebody's coming and saying, oh, they're not dying. Even Channels TV said they don't know why people are dying in Kanu. Why would they be dying? Yoruba media. Why do you think people are dying inside Kanu? If not coronavirus. What else could be the cause of it? That tells you all you need to know about these people. Let me tell you what Ganduje said. Listen very, very carefully, please, to what the governor said. I'll read it for you. We are facing challenges from all angles that require serious attention, particularly the recent understanding that we are facing community transmission. Yet, people are dying not because of coronavirus. Ganduje explained that despite a number of measures established to curb the fast spread of the disease, the state government was still battling with cultural and traditional misconceptions on the reality of the virus. While the lockdown is commendable, and of course the economic crisis and hardship that may result from it is perfectly also understandable, he reckoned in the long run is going to yield tangible results. Now listen to this. Ganduje, governor of Kanu State, he said, the governor who worried over the continued closure, the only test center that NCDC had, the man claiming that they're going to do 2 million tests every 3 months, the only test center they have in Kanu is closed. The only test center they have is closed. The only test center they have is closed. And he has an ambition of 3 million tests every 3 months, which goes to show that they will collect the money and they will pocket it. That is one Nigeria for you. That is why they want to. The reason why segments of Yoruba media and their leaders want one Nigeria is to continue to loot, to continue to steal. That's why they can't say no. They can't say no to one Nigeria, can they? because one Nigeria offers you an opportunity to steal. And some people said, why you wrote a letter to IMF about what is happening, stealing the money and looting or these funds that are being made available. And I refer them to what somebody said today, Andrew Nevin, who works for IMF. He said, and I read, that the IMF emergency fund is because they gave to Nigeria is because Nigeria has no money. It has collapsed completely. That IMF had no choice. Of course, referring to the letter that I wrote to them, we had no choice than to give this money because Nigeria needs a breathing room to diversify its economy away from oil dependency. That's what they're saying. That people are going to die. If we don't give them this money to pay their workers, people will die. Nigeria has no money. Nigeria is bankrupt. The zoo is bankrupt. Fulani economics have bankrupted the zoo. It has bankrupted the zoo completely. And then 2023, you look for another Fulani man to vote for, isn't it? 2023, they ask you to polish your PVC and bring it with you. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. And at this point, if you have any questions, I will take them. If you go to my page and you write any questions or on Radio Biafra, I will answer them. To tell you that we are live and direct to the whole world. Let me tell you what I find very shameful about the zoo called Nigeria. Now listen to what Boss Mustafa said, the Secretary of the Government. He is now the policymaker and the chief spokesperson for the government. We may ask Madagascar to send us a plane load of herbs to treat COVID-19, says the Secretary of the Government of the zoo called Nigeria. His name is Boss Mustafa. But the same treatment is in Biafra land. The same herbal remedies in Biafra land, but they will not go there to buy it. They prefer to buy it from Madagascar. They prefer to buy it from Madagascar. And you are telling us about one Nigeria, being in one Nigeria. You are buying the same thing from Madagascar that we have in abundance in Biafra land. And you want us to be in the same country with these people? You must be joking. You must be kidding. You must be kidding. Now you understand why we're saying we want to be on our own, we want to be free. And meanwhile, you have people with this type of mindset that would rather buy something from Madagascar than buy it from Biafra land. You have people that when children are dying, they come out on national TV and they lie that the amount of deaths you have is only 40 in Kanu, when they buried over 800 in a space of 2 days. Do you see why I say that Yoruba media is evil? Do you know why they wrote this? So that those looting all the money can go and say to World Health Organization, to IMF, to World Bank, oh, can't you see? We are doing so well. It's only 40 deaths recorded. Can you believe that? Overnight, nearly 800 people died inside Kanu alone. Do you see journalism in Nigeria? And when we complain, a lot of them do not understand. As somebody quite rightly observed, that is what we are going through in Nigeria. That is why we don't want to be part of Nigeria. There is a remedy. Innocent builds vehicles, they will not buy from him. There are herbal remedies in Biafra land, they will not go there to source it. We have treatment for HIV/AIDS. They will never ever encourage it, the industry. Never. And you're claiming you're in one Nigeria. You want to remain in one Nigeria. Up until when are we going to be tolerating this type of nonsense and evil? Up until when, I ask you? When is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? When will it stop? I ask all of you, shouting one Nigeria. Shouting one Nigeria. And as always, Aisha sent 18 the other day. Now they have increased it to 110 trailer loads of rice. Rice seized from Igbo merchants. Rice seized from Biafran businessmen and women in Lagos. Now, they're using it to feed Alamajiri in the north. Meanwhile, the one they sent down to the south, all expired, all poisoned. But they are giving them the good ones. And you wake up in the morning and you're telling me you're the one Nigerian, that you believe in Nigeria. Are you sure you're normal? Are you sure you are okay? I ask you. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I am sure that the Yoruba boy in Facebook, having done his job this evening, you will go to Asarok and Loretta Onoche will give you your money. You have managed to reduce within 1 hour from 33 plus 1,000 to 4.7. Yoruba, you have done your job. You will go and you will take money. And you want me to be in the same country with you, one Nigeria? You must be dreaming. You must seriously be joking. We are live and we are direct and the whole world is listening, of course. They are listening to us because they know on Radio Biafra we speak the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Here we call it as we see it. They are pursuing Jonathan. After eating all the money, squandering the whole thing, looting the economy dry, there is no money anywhere. Even the money meant for the clinic in Asorok that everybody can see, gone. 13.9 billion. Who stole it? Abba Kyari and his family and cronies. You know, as I told you before, the same way that the Fulanis managed to convince the Hausas that they came for the wrong good is what they're doing now. The reason why they published, oh, we are looking for the Siani account and Jonathan account is because they, as usual, they want to deflect attention away from their incompetence. That's what they're doing. Let us deflect attention away from our own. Let us say it is Jonathan's fault. That's what they said. Give us your account. We are looking at the account of Desian, the account of Jonathan. We want to see better the 13.9 billion stolen by Abba Kyari and the cabal in broad daylight. Nobody's investigating. They didn't ask to see Abacha's account, no. They did not ask to see Ibrahim Lamode's account, of course not. No. Did they go back to Marodiko's family? No. Did they go to Ibrahim Tahir's family? No. It's Jonathan. Because we sold ourselves very, very cheap to them. That is why they insult us. There is a man called Real One Look Man. Oil minister. After oil minister. Every blessed year he's oil minister. As incompetent and as a baboon that he was. Buhari, before he died, was the petroleum minister. Has anybody probed him to ask him what happened? All the Fulani Janjaweed who are in NMPC? No. They are looking for Jonathan. So that when this headline goes all over the world, and the funniest thing is that the man who is engineering this is Tinubu. What he did during the 2015 election is to introduce the Janjaweed to the art, to the dark arts, I would say. They have caught, oh, we've come back again. I thought they cut us off in Radio Biafra. We are back. This thing they are doing this evening is laughable. It was Tinubu that took the campaign team, the media team for Buhari's 2015 presidential campaign abroad and told them we can buy up every media space abroad and peddle our own narrative. And what is that narrative? Now, today's narrative is that, of course, Nigeria is bankrupt. Of course, we are begging for money all over the world. But please, it is not our fault. Oh, blame those Southerners. Blame Jonathan. Blame Desiane. That's the trick. And who is helping them to do it? Yoruba media. I'm having a bit of water, something that Jubril cannot do. Who is helping them to do it? Yoruba media. To give the world the impression, oh, we are suffering. It's not all those bullion van at what's his name? At Tinubu's place. They saw the bullion van during elections in 2019. They saw it, everybody saw it. Yoruba knew that when Wole Soyinka was running, when Babangida is a honeypot trap, gave Wole Soyinka some money, 200 million naira, but I remember it very clearly, to go and run road safety. Wole Soyinka put it in his account So it can accrue some interest. And he pocketed the interest. Yoruba media, have you forgotten? Why won't you publish it? Of course not. It's the Ziani. Hey, Jonathan, your account. Patient Jonathan, we trust your account. But when Shoyinka took money belonging to road safety, put it inside his account to accrue interest. And Babangida called him and said, you see, you're like us as well. And when I said the only man I suspect is Gani Fahimi. He was the only one that was not bought. The rest were bought, all of them. Including Taishula, all of them were bought of. That tells you all you need to know. They keep lying. And we keep exposing them. Where is the real one, the Lukman family? Where is the money? Where is the Abacha loot? Where is it? You're disturbing Jonathan and Desiane. As always. The same thing Fulani did to Awusa. Awusa, oh, don't worry. He's your king. They are not good Muslim. Allow us to go in. Before you know it, you become Janjaweed Emirate of Fulani. That was how Sokoto lost its natural name, which was Gobert. That thing you call Sokoto today is a Fulani concoction. The proper name, the Hausa name is Gobert. G-O-B-I-R. G-O-B-I-R, Gobert. Go and ask. The same thing Yorubas are doing today, the same reason why they lost the Lauren, Hausas did that nonsense before. They lost Sokoto. They lost Gobert, they named it Sokoto. The same nonsense they want to bring to Biafra land. Oh, don't, we are suffering. It's because of Jonathan and Desian and President Jonathan. Do you think we're stupid? How much did Jonathan steal? Or Patience or Desian? That Omar Diko did not steal. That Ibrahim Taher did not steal. That Ibrahim Lamode did not steal. That Aisha Buhari did not steal. Can Aisha Buhari travel to the USA? The answer is no. Aisha Buhari cannot go to the States. If she goes there, she'll be arrested. Some of you know about Halliburton bribery scandal, don't you? You know about it. Can Aisha go abroad? The answer is no. She cannot go to USA. If she goes there, she'll be arrested. Why don't you ask for Yusuf Buhari's account? Why don't you ask for it? No, you can't ask for it. Because all of you are corrupt. You want to divert attention. It was when Biafrans had no media. Yoruba, you can cut the Facebook listeners, remove them until it is 0. I'll continue to preach. You are wasting your time. We are now at 3 point. Bring it down to 0. I'll continue to preach. Mad people. I will preach this very gospel. It doesn't matter. It will be burning you and I will be preaching it. Mad people. Let me tell you something. It was when, during the war, there was no media. They were driving about in a refurbished Beetle car. Volkswagen. Now we are all over the world. It doesn't matter what you do. We are all over the world. If you like, buy up all the satellites of the world. We are still transmitting. We are still broadcasting. It doesn't matter what you do. Yoruba, you are wasting your time. And Fulani will swallow you alive. Yoruba, Fulani will swallow you alive. Then you remember Biafra. Then you remember Biafra. You have mothballed Amoteku because you are scared of the Fulani. You are scared. A bunch of cowards. Cannot stand up for what you believe in. Is always following evil. You see good, you see evil. Always gravitating towards evil. How do I cheat an Igbo man? How do I cheat an Igbo man? Why must you have that mindset? What is wrong with you? What is your problem? What is that demon inside you that cannot be cured with the truth? Every time, every time, anytime you see good, you will say no, you will follow evil. Why? Name one good thing you have ever done before in the zoo. Yoruba, name one good thing you have done in Nigeria. Name one thing. Name one thing. It's only anywhere even in your jaw, anywhere there is evil, you go. Oh, please give me some money. I have some devilish ideas. I can implement it. I can stop IPOB. Give me some money. And you think God will forgive you. You think God will forgive you? You will sink with the zoo if you don't take time. All this, if you think I'm like Azikiwe, that will condone evil, I'm not like that. Never. I won't condone it. You must be dreaming. Anywhere I see evil, I mention it. It doesn't matter who it is. I don't give a damn. I don't give a toss who you are. If I see evil, I'll mention it. Yoruba, all these your satanic tendencies, always gravitate, always going towards where there's evil. To cheat and to deceive, that's where you go. Anything you can do to put an Igbo man down, you're there. Anything you can do to put Biafra down, you're there. Anything you can do to make sure that Igbo is fighting with Ibibio, you will do it. Anything you can do to make sure you cut Biafra into two, name some people, you do it. Anything that will bring division is what you do. Yoruba, it is evil, and you must stop it. Or else, write it down. Today's date is the 29th, isn't it? 29th with the time now, 22 minutes past 8 p.m. in Biafra land. Now 23. It will consume you. I said that it will consume you. They have Yoruba, they have panicked. They have cut off Facebook. where my face is showing. Umokoko. They have cut off Facebook, but we are continuing. I will go back and I will rejoin. I will go back and I will rejoin. I will reconnect. I will reconnect. They are mad. I'm telling them the truth. And that is why they are panicking. That is why they are scared. That is why they cut off our transmission. They are panicking. Yeah, Zoo is panicking. They are panicking. I love it. They are panicking. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We are live and we are direct. They are panicking. Zoo is panicking. Zoo is panicking. Onyemuche has come back. Biafras are coming back to my page. Yoruba. It is the truth. I tell you the truth. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're holding my life, you take it. Was Shoinka not corrupt? Was Tai Sholarin not corrupt? Name one Yoruba man that isn't corrupt. Name one. Name one that is good. I said name one. Tell me a Yoruba man that served in a public office and went back with his integrity or her integrity intact. Name one person. You can't, can you? Yoruba should stop supporting evil. Yoruba, stop supporting evil. To do you no good. I want confirmation. Chinasa, tell me if I am coming out loud and clear on they have done something to Radio Biafra. They have done something to Radio Biafra. I don't know what is going on. I do not know what is happening. I do not know what is happening. I don't know what's going on. Isn't it very funny? Isn't it very funny? Before we went off, I was at, 3.7K or so. We've come back, it's jumped to nearly, this is 5.9, nearly 6K. You see what Yoruba is? You see how Yoruba is messing themselves up in Facebook? You see how they're messing them? Do you see how disgraceful they are? You think you can stop the truth? You've got to be joking. You must be dreaming. We are live and we are direct. And humanity is listening to us because we preach the truth. You may not like it. And quite frankly, I do not give a damn. If you like it or if you don't like it or it doesn't bother me. Because we preach the truth. the whole truth and nothing but the truth. We are live and we are direct. The world is all. See 7.3. Hey, Yoruba, Yoruba, leave evil. That evil may leave you alone. This same evil was what Afonja got dabbled in, and you lost a lot in. Till now, you have not learned anything. Have you? You've learned nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was broadcasting 1 minute ago. You reduced my number from over 33,000 to 3,000. I reconnected, and it's over 8K. And when I preach this very gospel, people don't understand. We will continue because we are relentless. If you like, reduce it to 0. They got so frustrated, they cut off the whole thing. Is it going to save you? Skate can't save you. I'm Nnamdi Kanu. It can't save you. I preach the truth always. Look at my face, oh. Look at it. I am pulling it, oh. Because when we catch any time. Yes, China said they cut us off. We are back again. We are back again on Radio Biafra. We are back again on Radio Biafra. Streaming live and direct. You see my face? I'm pulling it. Come and pull that his face. I'm pulling my face, see? Is there any mask? But you see Jubril, here is 4. Here 2. Here 2, making it 4. Eyebrow 1 is here. The other one is here. 4 eyebrows. Hole, there is a hole here. You want me to open? Let me show you that I don't have any hole in the neck. Can Jubril do this? Can Jubril do it? I'm asking you. Jubril again, but can Jubril do it? Do I have any hole on my? Can you see it? Can you see it here? Any hole on my neck? You claim your president is a man with a hole in the neck. Zoo is finished. I know some of our white folks watching will say this man is through the mind, and I love it. We are 11K. Yoruba, leave evil that evil may leave you alone. Just leave, abandon evil. You're not going to get anything. You cannot gain anything. And leave Jonathan alone. Leave Patience alone. You can even maybe toy with Jonathan a little bit, but Patience, you must leave her alone. You must. You must. In fact, you ask, let us go. Who is the idiot who is looking for Patience to start with? Let us see who the idiot is looking for Patience. Mad people. Bloomberg reports that the banks told to provide the bank details of Jonathan and others, including Citigroup, who asked for it. The Attorney General of the zoo was quoted by the court documents as asking for information contained. Okay, IPOB, you have a standing order. I want to know everything there is to know about that little criminal. That boy called Abubakar Malami. The grades he scored in school. The schools he went to. The lecturers he bribed. I know he's a quota graduate of law. I want to know everything about him. I want to set an example with him that others may learn. This boy, I will set an example with you that others may learn. I don't care what you do. You see, Patience Jonathan is untouchable. 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 Since we are now in the business of writing letter, I wrote one to IMF, now you're writing to, and to World Bank, now you're writing to banks. Let us up the game. We are now going to write to banks all over the world to give us the bank accounts of every Fulani criminal, including Abakari family. You want to write letter? We are now going to write letters now. We are now going to inform every bank in the world, and we know where the monies are hidden. I warned you. You don't go after Patience Jonathan. You don't try that rubbish at all, at all, at all. Desiani, you don't go after her. I don't know who they are. But you can't go after them without going after Aisha Buhari, that is wanted in America for fraud. Halliburton bribery scandal. She is involved You have not asked for the bank account of Aisha Buhari. You have not asked for the bank account of Ibrahim Lamode. You have not asked for the bank account of Yusuf Buhari, the fourth largest, should I say, the fourth richest man in Africa. You're going after Patience Jonathan. Because Jonathan is a gentleman, he's quiet. He wants one Nigeria. He's a statesman. He wants UN to call him and give him justice of peace. You can do whatever you like with Jonathan. But to see Patience, no Agalaga, no go area at all. Where did Aisha get the money to buy 18-trailer load of rice? From where, I ask you? From where? Where did she get the money from? I don't blame you, I blame Jonathan. I blame Jonathan. I blame the idiots that call themselves Niger Delta. I blame the bastards that call themselves Niger Delta. The hopeless fools, I blame them. A former first lady, albeit in a zoo, you want to ask for her account. Hey, Chineke, thank you very much. Now, since we are all going to be investigators now, every account, every money in that account belonging to Fulani, every money belonging to Tinubu, Tifnubu, they want it. We can also write to them. You know IPOB. One order tonight, everything we say will start moving all over the world. Number one in the world, not even 2 or 3. Are you aware? You want us to since you don't have the fear, there is no fear, Malami, you don't have the fear to go after Patience Jonathan. All of you are fair game. All of you are fair game, all of you. Fulani criminals, all of you criminals with your hotels in Dubai, with your estates in Dubai, you are gone. And even those hiding their loot in China. You think you're safe? Do you think you're safe? That somehow China will save you? You are drunk. You are mad. You're asking for the account. So when they ask you, why did you mismanage the economy? You say, oh, it's a Jonathan and Patience and Desiani. Hey, they took all the money. All the money you've been laundering through Dangote, you think we don't know? So somebody can become a multi-billionaire in the whole of Africa with pasta, rice, and sugar. That you gave him a monopoly? You think we do not know? Do you seriously, do you look at us as fools? Do you know this is IPOB? Do we look like fools to you? Fulani, do you think this generation will look like fools? Do you think we are Zikiwe? Or we are Sika? Only Awodo, begging you for governorship. Do you think that is who? Do you know we are IPOB? Are you aware of that? We shall teach you the lesson of your life next time. When you hear the name Patience Jonathan, you won't go close to her. You are mad. You are mad. I thought you've learned your lesson. Not to go after our people anymore. We said we won't defend them, yes, but I noticed that was somehow a kind of an encouragement to go after our people. No, you can't do that. Any day you are prepared to solve the issue of corruption, you convene a large commission. Appoint judges from outside the zoo. Then you announce all the cases one after the other. Not your selective. You think that nonsense Otman Danfodio played on the Habe monarchies of the North will work with us? Is that what you think? So if you come and select Jonathan and Patience, and then we'll leave you, you take them, you rubbish them. No, it can't happen. No, not now. It can't happen, I'm telling you. Since you want us to request for bank account, we now request for bank account for everybody, that the world may see those who are looting, and those our starting point is 13.9 billion, which you have not answered. Nobody, no Janjaweed has been able to answer this question. Yoruba media will not ask them, where is the 13.9 million budgeted for Aso Rock Clinic? Where is the money? Aisha said, Not even a single syringe is there. Where is the money? You're looking for patience, Jonathan. You people are mad. You people are insane. Alamajri, you are insane. You're insane. You want to go after patience. Their bank account. Hey! How about your own bank account? Why don't you publish it? Because he who goes to equity goes with clean hands. Publish your own bank account. Then we know. You idiots, you sit in DSS office. You call Yoruba Gota Media and their unemployed graduates with nothing to do. Pay them 3,000 naira to be talking. Do you know we are IPOB? We squash everybody. If you come to social media, we will squash you completely and totally. We decimate you. Because we have the facts and we have the figures. And we have an army that cannot be bought. An unbuyable army. They are the worst to deal with. An army you cannot buy. You are playing with us. Talk about. Let me hear him again from you, President Jonathan. In fact, we're even starting self without even waiting for your next rubbish. Don't touch her. You're insane. Talking about Patience Jonathan. You are mad wherever you are. Alamajiri with quota education. Idiot that doesn't know the rule of law. You got your quota job and you're doing it very well for the rest of your cabal, and you think you can extend that to rubbish to President Jonathan? I think you're mad. Mad people. Jonathan opens up. Why are you responding to them? Why is President Jonathan responding to them? What for? Have they gone to the family of Umar Diko? Have they gone to the family of Ibrahim Taher? Have they gone to the family of the Sultan of Sokoto? How many oil wells do they have? I'm asking you. Were they acquired legally? People involved in loot and burn, they burnt CBN, they burnt federal inland revenue, they've been burning offices everywhere. And you're telling me you're pursuing Jonathan. I think you're mad. Absolutely mad. I just had a sip of water. Unlike Jubril who cannot. I just had a sip of water. And the world is listening. We are live and we are direct. Humanity is on our side. Because we are propagating the truth. And nothing but the truth. This is the reason why they want one Nigeria. To cheat all of you. One is one Nigeria. This is one Nigeria. This is Nigeria. I am taking you back to what those they call their founding fathers. Not their founding grandfather, but their founding father, because Zoo has no grandfather, it's only father. No grandfather, no ancestry, no history. Because their life started in 1960, more or less. What did Awolowo say? I am saying this because of those who are going about talking rubbish. Oh, it's one Nigeria. We want our one Nigeria. Our founding father. Let us see what your founding father said. Awolowo, this is what Awolowo said. And please, Amaka, put it everywhere. Please put it on the page. Since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historic. Sorry, this is Tafawa Balewa. I do apologize. I a very well-spoken man. I saw his video. I've always known. You can say anything about him, but Tafawa Balewa was erudite, well-spoken, well-learned, polished, I must say. Tafawa Balewa was polished, very neat, clean, well-spoken, highly educated. And Zoguchu shouldn't have, I don't know those that meant to kill him, but they shouldn't have killed him. He was a very good man. Not, I wouldn't say a good man, and he was in the midst of Janjaweed, Fulani. A cabal worse than the rubbish you're seeing now. All of a sudden, we are over 20K. This is somebody that Yoruba reduced to 3K while ago. Hey! Yoruba. Very sad indeed. I don't know what they're doing with evil. Is that why they put so much pepper in their soup or stew? To burn the evil inside? I don't know. It's not what I said, though. I'm repeating what others said. Tafawa Balewa said in 1948, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any signs of willingness to unite. It was never united. Never, ever, ever united. Never. Tafawa Balewa. Let us go to Awolowo. North, west, and east. Awolowo said, Nigeria is not a nation. It is a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians. Nigeria doesn't exist. Awolowo, a Yoruba man. In the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French, the word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria and those who do not. Our Bafemi Awolowo never believed in one Nigeria. The North did not believe in one Nigeria. They was not telling us, let's work for one Nigeria because of crude oil. That's why I call them hypocritical nationalists. They are hypocrites. How about the Jonathan of his day, peacemaker? He wants people to love him. He wants to be seen as the voice of Pan-Africanism, a dreamer, a hopeless dreamer. Let's read what he had to say. It is better for us and many admirers abroad that we should disintegrate in peace and not in pieces. Listen. In 1964, Azikiwe said, they have said the reduction again, Yoruba. Azikiwe said, let us break up in peace rather than in pieces. Should the politicians fail to heed this warning, then I will venture the prediction that the experience of Congo will be a chance play if ever it comes to our turn to play such a tragic role. He later on became an avid one Nigerian. Why did he become one Nigerian? Because Ojukwu did not allow him to lead Biafra. There's a saying where we come from. I will have to say it in the language of heaven. Do you understand that? It was Ojukwu that went out, fought, and got Biafra to be at least recognized by somebody all over the world. Azikiwe wanted it. And Zik said no. Sorry, Azikiwe wanted and Ojukwu said no. Rather. Zik wanted to be the head of state of Biafra. And Ojukwu said no, it doesn't work like that. He became a one Nigerian. Does that tell you something about Sabo? You see all these traitors, Mandio, but Mandio with feeding bottle. Both Sabo with feeding bottle and Sabo with walking stick. You see that mentality they have. Am I going to lead? If I don't lead, I will go to Abuja and sabotage what you're doing. I will connive with Yoruba, some few elements in Yoruba. We sabotage what you're doing. Is that very clear now to all? It didn't start now. It started then. It started from way back, way before. That is why we preach always and relentlessly that the truth must be spoken. You may not like it, but it's the truth. In that same zoo was where Azikiwe was telling Tafawa Balewa and Ahmadu Bello, train your almajiri. Jonathan built schools for them. Have you forgotten? The same Jonathan that trying to probe. The same problem that Jonathan saw, the almajiri problem, and tried to solve it. Jonathan wanted to solve the almajiri problem in today. Boss Mustafa is saying almajiri portends danger for Nigeria. Now you understand, don't you? Now you understand, don't you? There's no wonder they're going after him. They've remembered all the good work he did with Almajiri. They're saying, oh, let's go after him and suffer him even more. That is zoo for you. That's the way they behave. And I hope that one day the Holy Spirit will touch the mind of those very evil Yoruba people so that they may repent. That's what I pray for on a daily basis. The secretary of the government of the zoo, Boss Mustafa, has warned that Al-Majri may become an army that will overwhelm Nigeria in the future. Always them. Always them. Bandits, terrorists, headsmen, from the same people, from the same, fertile recruitment ground with Al-Majri. They never change. And you want to be in one Nigeria with them? But the funniest thing, if the zoo were to be divided tomorrow, I call north, go on your way, middle belt, west, east, there'll be peace over. Immediately there'll be peace everywhere. Now they're warning you that an army of Al-Majri will come up in the future. You will see a very clever politician now, they'll go and recruit them, start recruiting them now. To form an army for them, to intimidate somebody in the future. The same way Obama and Hillary brought COVID-19 to terrorize Trump out of office. Of course we know. Obama said in the next 5 or 10 years, which is the electoral cycle. He said the electoral cycle. In other words, if there's a Democrat, there'll be no problem, it will be 10 years. But if there's a Republican, then we'll hit you with COVID-19. And it happened, didn't it? This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we are direct. The time now is approximately 12 minutes to 9 p.m. in the evening in the land of Biafra. The same number of minutes to the top of the hour, regardless of where you are in the whole world. We are live and we are direct. And the next president of the zoo, according to their calculation, of course, is going to come from the north. By that time, we would have gone anyway. Chukwuabiama willing, not out of any strength that we mortals possess. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is wasting his time. The same way they messed up Abiola is how they will mess you up. You can't win. You can never, ever win. The Fulanis don't trust the Yorubas. They use them. They use them. That's the politics of the zoo. You can say anything about the East. You can say anything about Biafrans. You can say anything about the Igbo man, but one thing he doesn't do is we don't know how to do beat clicking at all. Forget about Hope was on that they're now denying that he wasn't the one squatting and bowing before an emir. There is a picture of Emir Fred, the CBN governor, serving tea to Ismaila Funtua. And I want that picture published. He will now tell you, hey, it is one man from Gambia. It's not him. That's what you have to do. So, of course, everywhere you go to have a few evil people, you have a few traitors. We know that for sure. That's what's happening in the zoo. One, you can accuse the Igbos of anything you like. One thing that they don't know how to do this, this bootlicking thing. Lapdog, they don't play it very well. They may play it for maybe 4 years and then they give up. That is why in the zoo, every time they think it's going to be between Fulani and Yoruba, we can play a game. And as you're playing this game, or these games, so to speak, your forest is going, your land is going. We are live and we are direct, of course. And darkness has disappeared. Lo and behold, light has come in. As we told you, it will come in. Al-Majri is everywhere. The only man that tried to help them, good luck Jonathan, the only man that tried to help them, they are trying to probe him. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And somebody wrote a very compelling piece about the money belonging to Biafrans that Obafemi Awolowo stole immediately after the war. Obafemi Awolowo stole that money in the hope that the Fulanis will give him the rulership of Nigeria. That didn't materialize. So Tinubu is also wasting his time. Fulani only support those that they bring out. Like Obasanjo. Obasanjo contested with Olufalaye. Olufalaye was a highly learned man, highly principled man, I must say. One of the few that I actually like in Yoruba land, that speaks his mind, speaks the truth. And the Fulani said, no, it's not time for anybody else apart from Obasanjo that we know and trust. And they gave it to him. So that Obasanjo can also give it back to them, as he did in 1979. After the death of Murtala Mohammed in 76, they gave it to Obasanjo. They said to Obasanjo, we are giving it to you on the condition that when we return to democracy, you give it back to us, and he gave it to Shehu Shagari. The same thing they have done. They have given it to Obasanjo and said to him, you must return this to Yaradua, and he did. Now you understand the game they're playing. And now you understand the reason why I believe very strongly that the Yorubas must stop what they are doing and embrace the truth. And that truth is that everybody must be on their own. Everybody must be on their own. I commend, I think it's Professor Kintoye, isn't it, that registered the Odua movement with a branch at the UN. This is highly commendable. I welcome what he's trying to do. And hopefully from the likes of Professor Kintoye, a new breed of Yoruba will emerge that believe in the truth, that will not serve the Janjaweed sheepishly, that will have men and women that will run their media and speak the truth always, not the charade that Channels is putting up. We pray very strongly that they will hold their ground, that they will make sure that even within Yoruba land itself, that truth always prevails. That's all that we're asking them for. And on that very note this evening, that very conciliatory note, we bring our very brief proceedings to an end. I will be live again on air on Sunday. I will broadcast again on Sunday, 7 p.m., same time, same platform. And I will, of course, encourage you to join us then.